Hello. 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 We're back. Hey, what's up? It's Kyle with Illegal Speed Shop. Harrison had to go do stuff, take care of his doggos. So you just get me today. Since you were last seeing, we put in the fuel cell, we put in the air compressor, the air tank, ran the fuel lines, ran some of the brake lines. We swapped out all of our suspension hardware for some thinner lock nuts so they weren't so gaudy looking. We did, we installed our rag top frame, and today we spent the whole day doing sound deadening. Yeah, which makes for a really great video. Got some paper cuts. Harrison used our first aid kit for the first time. I'm not voting. So yeah, for all of our suspension hardware, we had to go back. Everything was just for mock-up before. We had to go back and make sure that all of our bolts were correct length. And then we swapped out these big lock nuts for short lock nuts. So that way we wouldn't have any clearance problems tightening, and it made more of a difference in the back, but I'll show you that too. Then we also got all of our brake lines installed. Still waiting on, we're just leaving them dry for now until we get the engine and the transmission and everything in place and can actually start putting fluids in the car. And then in the back, we tried to take the brake caliper apart to put the shims in. And for whatever reason, this nut got cross-threaded on its own, just on the last half of the threads coming off the bolt. So we're waiting on that to come in the mail. And then we had these Ride Tech bags that the client provided us to build all the suspension with, but they have been sitting on a shelf for a really long time, and all the bushings on them have gone bad. So Harrison had to call and order some new bushings straight from Ride Tech, and they're actually discontinued, but they had just enough left in stock for us to replace all of them. So those will be coming in, and then we can put the bags back in on the cantilever suspension. Can't believe her. And we got our fast diesel fuel system pump and filter setup. Just AN8 lines, black, everything black, running into the bulkheads that go right behind the driver's seat. There's also bulkheads running from the top of the fuel cell back down here by the diff. So I designed these straps for the air tank back here to try to get it up here as tight as we possibly could. Just some CNC plasma cut hoops that go over the top, some rubber to keep it from sliding around. Then they kind of just clamp on themselves, and got the air compressor is way tucked up in there because we didn't want it visible, just because there's going to be a bunch of audio in this car, and it's actually a really small car, even though it's a station wagon. So we had to find some tricky spots to hide things. And all right, so we still have a couple things we have to figure out. This fitting for the radiator is super close to our steering rack. Our steering rack might move eventually because some of the comments people have made about the angle of it. We actually looked up. Our donor motor is a ALH motor. We're putting a BEW motor in, and the AC compressor is in a different location, and we're hoping we can get more room for the steering rack and reposition it a little bit to make it better steering angles. But we need to figure out this fitting. We think we can just get a 90-degree fitting that has an O-ring on one side and fix that problem. Then on our intercooler, same thing as the radiator. We kind of need to figure out a way to get this to bend 90 degrees, and a coupler might not be tight enough to do it. So we may have to modify this intercooler to have a 90-degree bend built into it. So that way we can clear where the wheel will turn to and get our intercooler piping back to the motor. Man, I wish I had some Taco Bell. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we've done this week. Hopefully, maybe next week or the week after, we'll have kind of every part that we've got sorted out installed on the car. Then hopefully one of the days here soon, we get a motor and we can finish doing all the intercooler piping and the exhaust and start working on wiring and whatnot. But like, subscribe, follow for more videos. Kyle and the mic.